Welcome to Ratals.com tutorials part 5 and setting your site up into an e-commerce store. In the last video, we just sent off our tracking numbers to our customers so that they know when their package is going to arrive to them. And this came through as an email. And so I've logged into our round cube over with A2 hosting to check our email. And we can kind of see what these emails look like. Now, keep in mind, you can fully edit these emails inside your admin area if you go into design templates, and then you'll see all your template files in there, and there's a whole bunch of email template files in there, and you can modify these to be whatever you want. Now it just says this was our PayPal email, and you can see actually by check, I'm sorry, it says thank you for your order. When your payment is received, your order will be moved into our processing queue. And so this is when we checked out with a check, and it says mail check to, and just the information. Of course, you can add more information in here, and the items that were purchased. So you can also, you'll see that there's a master, or I think it's called main email template, and that's the wrapper to all of these emails. And that main file will allow you to edit anything in here. Now, I believe even if you turned your website stuff off, your website contact information off to say, don't display it on the website, I believe on an order, it'll still display it because now you're dealing with getting an order from somebody. So if you didn't want this to be in here, you'd have to go into that main template and remove it, but you can do that. So this is what it looks like when somebody checks out with a check and say payable by check. Now, when our first order though was with PayPal, which we canceled, right? This was our canceled order from PayPal, and very similar thing to where it shows the items that were checked out and how much it was, and just saying your payment is pending. We're waiting for it. So this is just a receipt saying it's pending. This one here is when they created their account, right? So they created their account when we checked it by check with this other email here. And so this is saying, hey, thanks for creating your account. And then our last email was your order was shipped, right? Because we shipped this last order. And remember how I said it would combine all the tracking numbers into one, which you can see it has right there. If we go back into here, because we put the same tracking number on both, you can see that it just put them all into one tracking number. And if we click on this, it's going to take us over to the USPS the United States Postal Service, and it's going to try to pull up that tracking number, which of course is not a valid number. And because it's not a valid number, it has nothing really to show us. But this is where we can set up our tracking, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and close out of these emails because now we get the idea of what the emails look like. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and place one more order. And this order is going to be with a credit card. And we have a test account to where we can use a test card. And we'll just use that. So I'm just going to add this one item into our cart. And I'm not worried about shipping. We'll just leave it as free. We're going to proceed to check out. Now we're logged in here into our account because remember we created an account. And so what we're going to do is we'll look in the account last. And so what we're going to do is we're just going to check out as a Visa, because remember this is a sandbox account with authorized.net. And so we can put a test card number in that they give us, which looks like this. It's just all ones. I put spaces in here just so that I could see that we have the correct amount, the correct number of ones. We'll just do a Visa, and that test number is for a Visa when you have a sandbox account with authorized.net. And so we'll just go ahead and say a random security code on the back of the card. And we're going to say, yes, save this in my account so we can see what it looks like. Save this card in my account for easy checkout later. We'll use our same address as our shipping for our billing. And then we're going to go ahead and hit place order. Now this is our third order. If we go back into our backend area here now in our orders, we can now see our third order. And this third order, of course, is underneath this customer here, right, that we created. If we go into edit this customer, we can see our orders, and these are our two orders under this customer. So if we remember this first order, we checked out as a guest. What would happen if we wanted to say, hey, this customer turned out to be the same customer as these other two orders? How do we put this order underneath this customer's account so they all show under the same customer account? Or even if it's a new account, right? The customer wants to put their order inside their account. You got to, it's your job to verify that you're moving an order to the right person's account, right? But we give you the power to be able to do it. And this is, of course, a canceled PayPal order. But the way you do that is it tells you right here with instruction, you go into your edit order details, which is here, and also your customer information, which is here, and you put the account number on this order. So if we go back over here, this account number for this email address is account ID number 1, which we can see right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to this order, hit edit, and we're going to put ID number 1 on this, customer account number 1. And we'll go down here and hit save. And we also have to put it here on the customer information account ID. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and hit save. So now if we go back to the order page, you'll see it doesn't say checkout as guest anymore. Now it says it's account number 1 because we moved this order into their account. And if we go look at this customer orders, we can see that it's in there now. So all 3 of them belong to this customer's account. So again, it's your job to make sure before you move an order into somebody's account and they can interact with it and see it, that you make sure that you're moving that into the right account, of the right customer account, right? Now, with that being said, let's go back over here to our front end now, and let's see what it looks like in here. So we can see where this was our order that we moved in here just now into our account for this customer. This is account number 1, right? And you can see it's canceled. And if we view it, we can see that it was PayPal, and we can see that it was canceled, right? But this was their order, but it was canceled, which we can see right here. If we go back to orders, right, this is our next order, which we did pay by check. So if we hit view order, you can see our pay by check information right here. Again, you can add additional instruction in here. I showed you this HTML code if you wanted to make it look similar, but it's pay by check, where to pay it to. So when they log into their account, even after they check out, if they can't remember where to send the check to, they can log in here if they created an account, or look at their receipt that we emailed to them, right? And they can see exactly how to send the check to us. And then, of course, it shows the tracking numbers for each order. And this was our free tracking, right? So there is no tracking number. It was free. And then this, but that was the number. We put them all in the same box. But this one, remember, we had USPS on it, and it was ground how it shipped. And here's the tracking number on it. And down here is the items that they ordered. And so this order was a little bit mixed up because on purpose, we kind of mixed it up with different types of shipping, and just so you can see how to do it. Okay. And again, this is where it's going to ship to, and the payment is pending because the person did check by mail, right? So if we go back, and our last one right here is processing. This is where we checked out with our card test number, and we can see that the person or the customer can see inside their account that it's still being processed, and that they checked out with card number 111 because that was the test card number with authorized.net. And then we can also see here how much the order was for, what they ordered, and where it's going to ship to, and that it's in the processing queue. And it tells them there, your order's being processed. Now, when we manage the order and we go back over here, I'm just going to manage this order here, this last one, and we go to manage the order. In-house, right now, it says it's paid, and we can see that they paid, and we can see the transaction ID number from authorized.net. But we can also go here and change our queue to say processing order. Now, because it was on paid. So if we go to start processing order, the customer, though, rather just sees processing. Now, if we partially ship it, return in progress, if that's what they ask for, or it's complete, this is what's going to display inside the customer account. So when we update our statuses, we always have to make sure we update our in-house statuses as well as what the customer sees. Because if we just leave it on processing and it's actually completed and shipped, it just still says processing. They'll get the email saying that it shipped, but it'll still say processing in their account, which could be kind of weird. So in this situation, if we go and ship this order, if we go ahead and go over here to our allocation, and let's just go ahead and put a whole bunch of letters on here, and let's just go, because it was free shipping, let's go ahead and just say we ship it with, let's go ahead and say we ship it with UPS as an example, right? And we'll just go ahead and hit save. We can send the email to them here, right? But it's shipped with UPS. And so now when they come in here, they'll be able to actually see that it actually shipped. And they can click on that to go over to the UPS site to see where it's at, the tracking. They're looking for it. We're not going to wait for it. I'm just going to close it. But you can see the actual tracking number links over to it. There's no shipment type because it was free. So we just shipped it however we chose because it was free, right? So we'll just ship it ground. But that's the tracking number so they can see it. And so you can see where you can fully interact with the customer inside the account and their order. And of course, they can add more addresses. If you're allowing to add cards, if you have that turned on, they can add more cards in here for easy checkout and then their profile. So let's just go ahead and place one more order really quick now that we have a card set up in here to show you how easy it is once you have a card. So they select what they want. They put it in their cart. Because we're logged in, we have an address already now in our drop down. So if we want to add more addresses, we can click here, go add more addresses. But we'll just leave it like this. We're not going to add more. And of course, while they're in their cart, they can change their addresses here to get different rates. If you're going to charge, if you're charging rates or fees, right, they can switch at where they want to ship it to see how much it's going to cost them. Proceed to checkout. And now it's a lot more simplified because now they have use a card on file. Again, if you're using authorized.net, or they can add a new card if you're allowing them to add cards, right? Or they can say, I don't want to use any of those. I want to do PayPal or I want to do check by mail. So it's very powerful and it's very scalable. And again, if you want to change this to Venmo or any other way you want to take payments, if you don't want to do checks, you can call it whatever you want and it'll say pay by Venmo. You give the instructions, let them check out. Extremely versatile. And the software of it is very powerful and very strong, as you can see here. I hope you love the demo of how to set it up as a store. The last thing we have to do, though, to truly complete this as a store is the homepage, because yes, we created a category in product categories. We created a category, put products in it, inventory in it, checked out, showed how to do it all. But now, how do we set up our homepage, right? And we're going to do this in our last video on setting your site up as a store, of how to modify this homepage so that it looks more like a store. Okay, see you in the next video.